Hi, we're here at the Brand Being Meetup. I'm Lori Rubinson from Lippe Taylor, and with me is
David Echegoyen. Most people call me Etch, and I'm the Chief Customer Officer for Jet.
All right, Etch was kind enough to be on our panel this evening, which was fantastic. Etch, tell me, what was something that perhaps struck you that was said by one of the other panelists tonight?
You know, it's great to hear how Dusty on the Spotify side, in her role, her key constituent, her customers, employees, and how that's created a very singular focus on how does she communicate and make employees feel like it's a key part of being successful in the company. And going from being privately held to publicly held creates a little bit of different take on transparency. And so I loved her point of view. We exchanged information. Hopefully we're going to meet next week, but that was great. I loved it.
Yeah, I was struck by that radical transparency.
Yeah.
And to be a public company and doing that, I think that's hard enough at a small private company.
Absolutely.
To be radically transparent.
Yeah. It was honestly one of our values when we were acquired at Jet.
So prior to acquisition was transparency?
Yeah. Transparency, fairness, they were all key values of how we did business. Yeah.
Now, transparency is hard when you are part of a public company. In terms of the other values that are central to the Jet brand, we were talking about brand being, how have you maintained some of those values after acquisition?
Yeah. Honestly, I'll give credit to our owners at Walmart. A CEO of Walmart has this phrase that's, "Are we hugging you too tight?" They've truly not only allowed us to further the culture we had, but they've allowed that to influence Walmart's culture. So I'll say we have continued pushing through the things that we felt were key to our value system and to the employee culture we had built, and they have allowed and fostered it.
There are lots of ways to be your brand. This is about brand being. How do you feel, or do you feel, that your office environment contributes to how Jet lives its brand?
Yeah. Jet as a brand is designed to make city living better and to target a customer that's an urban, affluent millennial. It's most of our employees. And so the amazing thing is, different than in a lot of places where you're trying to sell something to a customer that's really hard to relate to, most of our employees find it very easy to relate to the challenges of living in the city, what it is that we're trying to overcome, the pain points of having groceries delivered, finding the right furniture, being in style. And so it's all things that have allowed for the brand to be true. And when we come up with solutions that seem to be pleasing the balance sheet versus pleasing the customer, it's easy for us to say, this is not something the customer will appreciate. We wouldn't appreciate it. We are the customer at times. Yeah.
Yeah, I always think with New York City, I say we have the best and worst of everything.
Yeah.
So you're right. It can be hard, and yet, so you have to take advantage of what's wonderful.
Absolutely.
To set up that balance. So you told me earlier that now that it's been 3 weeks, you grew this beard, and that your children now look at it, your beard, and they seem to behave better or respond more to the beard. My question is the same true of your team, of your staff, and the people you work with? Do they respect the beard?
I will only respond with anecdotes. I have no data to back this up.
Okay.
I have been called wise twice since the beard. It happened a lot last year. When the beard got a lot longer, people actually seemed to pay attention.
Really?
Yes, it is amazing to see. Yeah.
So is there, I asked this of someone earlier, is there, in terms of the beard and your own personal brand statement, how do you think of your own personal brand, living your brand? And is the beard a part of it, or is there something different?
I'll tell you where the beard started. The beard started, I wasn't living in New York at the time. We were selling the company I was a partner of. And the journey of selling the company was not the one we had envisioned. And so I called it a journey beard. And what I told the team at the time was, I'm not going to shave until we've finished this journey. And so the beard started getting really long, and what the beard reminded me to do, because as I touched my face, I would just feel this thing that I had not had there before, was to remind me of what the journey was about. Mm-hmm. And so it took about 3 or 4 months to sell the company and to thank employees and to go through everything that we had achieved. And since then, I started doing it every winter. And it was like, it's such a good thing that allows me to understand that I'm in a journey that will have chapters that will end and new chapters that will begin. And that's what it means now. It's that part of my brand. If you meet me in the spring and summer, I look a lot younger. If you meet me in the fall and winter, I look a lot older. Yeah.
Etch, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for 5 good minutes here at the Brand Being Summit.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.